Obviously, we are in the middle of the craziest political season with an assassination attempt on the leading presidential candidate's life. And then the next morning, former President Trump wakes up, he goes golfing, and now he's in Milwaukee, where yesterday it was announced that J.D. Vance, the Ohio senator and author of Hillbilly Elegy, is going to be his VP pick. I was a little surprised, I have to say, because I felt like J.D. Vance had fallen on the list. And, the brilliant thing about the VP selection is that we were given some inside information throughout. It was leaked to the press. So we were hearing about the horse race from within the campaign. Maybe people were just throwing us all off. Maybe the president was changing his mind from day to day. And perhaps the attempt on his life only crystallized that he needed to pick the person he felt was the best one to carry the message for his political philosophy, for the party, for the ticket, and for the country. And he has that in J.D. Vance, who is very patriotic. He's conservative. Donors love him. He's not a DEI candidate. I kind of hoped that he was going to pick Tulsi Gabbard. I thought, if you're looking for a unity candidate, she's a former Democrat, and she is incredible at articulating the strongly held views that she has. Many of them dovetail with Trump's, some do not. I know I was at Freedom Fest all last week with a bunch of liberty-minded freedom lovers, and many of them expressed that they had hoped that Tulsi would be second on the ticket. She was a dark horse, but not a total long shot. We were hearing for some time that Doug Burgum, the governor of North Dakota, and Marco Rubio, the Florida senator, that they were the two at the top of the list, that Youngkin was still very much in the running. We heard the Burgum and Rubio were out yesterday, and then Vance emerged. Of course, there is going to be a lot of focus on the fact that he was a Trump hater for a long time. But I think what he is going to say is, yeah, I was. He will more than likely own it and say, I came around to believing in the man and the message, and here's why you should too. And I have to say, after a disastrous debate performance from Biden and the economy still not going in the direction consumers want, the country not going in the direction voters want, it's really not the worst thing in the world to have someone make a forceful declaration in defense of changing their own mind, which, gives more people than you think cover to do the same thing.
Don't go anywhere. More Kennedy Saves the World right after this.
And the way that President Trump emerged after the shooting may not have been the smartest thing in the world if there were multiple shooters. He certainly would not have survived popping his head out and giving the fist pump and yelling, fight, fight, fight from the stage. But what it did do, it signaled to people that his instincts are to stand up and let everyone know that everything is going to be okay, and to put his fear and his pain aside and reassure people that he's still very much in it, after being impeached and indicted and convicted and, an attempt on his life. The guy's obviously been through a lot, and he, just by his actions, might have changed people's minds on Saturday. And we'll see how J.D. Vance changes the race. I don't think he particularly hurts Trump. I don't think that he should have picked a woman for the sake of picking a woman. I don't think you should ever do that. In fact, I think that's actually worse for women who come up behind you, because if you're picked because of your gender or other immutable characteristics and you don't do well, then people say, oh, well, she was only picked because she's a woman. Why should we pick other women? And that is the opposite of helping women out and empowering them. But J.D. Vance, I like Ohio very much. I have family members there. My daughter goes to college in Ohio. Midwesterners are lovely and compassionate and caring. They're kind. They're all the things that Melania Trump exhorted from voters to be in her social media statement after the shooting on Saturday, which I thought her statement was very beautiful and humanizing and elegant. And, we'll see what this does to the race. Obviously, the RNC is going to give the ticket a big boost for a while. Democrats purposely put some time and space in between, this week in July and theirs later in August. And obviously, momentum can shift. President Biden could get great economic news. He could get some biologic injected into his arm that cures whatever he's got. And miraculously, he would be able to walk without shuffling while moving his arms and not stumbling over people's names and very, very basic facts. I don't think that is going to happen. I think just within the last 72 hours, the race has solidified in a way that people didn't see coming a week ago. These certainly are strange times we're living in. I will be at the RNC. I will bring you updates tomorrow on what and who I see. And I will be on Gutfeld from the RNC in Milwaukee, tomorrow night. This has been Kennedy Saves the World. I'm Kennedy.
Listen ad-free with a Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app. Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.